I'd like to introduce you. I'd like to cut through all the George Soros purchased silliness and confusion out there. All of the faked data, which has been documented over and over again, but since the media is complicit, they won't really talk too much about it. All the rest of that stuff, I'd like to point you to the Earth's thermostat. Yeah. The big glowing thing up in the sky, which we see very clearly here in Phoenix right now. Beautiful sunrise this morning, though. They're talking monsoon moisture. What is this? We go from hurricanes to record temps for about 10 days and then straight into the monsoon. What is that? What is that? This is one of the weirdest summers I can.
This will clearly be the new rainforest within 10 years.
Wow, the way it's going. Yeah.
you get where I'm going with that, you know.
Yeah, right. Anyway,
and we'll all have drowned.
Yeah, let's not talk about that. I was talking to a Muslim friend in Australia, and he had such bad flooding there, lost both of his cars, had over a meter of water in his house for like 8 days. That's a lot. Yeah, that's serious flooding. That's really serious flooding. Anyway, the point being that this whole movement is part of this. Well, I mentioned it in a, I thought, fairly important Facebook article I put up yesterday on the danger of mantras and how if you can get a few Hollywood celebs to say it a few times, you can now establish something as factually true. And everyone will just believe it. You know, our culture today. I made reference in the article, and if you haven't taken a look at it, I'm putting a lot of stuff there. I probably should cross-post everything to the blog too, but it's there. Well, doesn't our stuff cross-post? Yes, it doesn't.
Not if you post it originally to Facebook.
Yeah.
If you post it to the blog, then it drops into our Facebook channel.
Yeah. I wish there was some way to make it go the other direction. Or have some way that I can do it fairly easily. If we could look into that, that'd be good.
Well, you could always drop it in the blog, and then it'll go to our thing, and then you share it to your page. Piece of cake. Really. No, really.
Seems a little backwards. But
and I
anyways.
will bring up that you lost your ever-loving mind yesterday.
No, I did not. I mean, when I put up that article and none of my friends said a word, it was just like crickets. It's like, yeah. Anyway, back to what we're saying here. My serious concern is what we're seeing all across the world. It's obviously the case in Europe and every place else. I can only see it as a massive lurch toward childhood on the part of Western culture. What do I mean by that? When I grew up, there was a day. I remember the day when it struck my maturing mind that there were certain marks to becoming an adult, to maturing. You didn't cry when you fell down. You didn't run to mommy and tattle on everybody. If someone offended you, if you're mature, you did not have to collapse into a quivering heap of tears. That mature people can be offended and still remain happy and functional and don't have to take it to heart. Now we live in a world where offending anyone is the worst thing in the world you can possibly do. Even if they're offended by truth, you just don't tell them the truth. And now we have universities where you actually have to create safe spaces for people where they can go to not be offended or challenged. We are creating an entire generation of 3-year-olds except they're now 30. I think it directly has something to do. Direct connection between this and the putting off of marriage. It really does. I mean, part of it is that most of the guys are sitting in the basement playing first-person shooter games, but there's a connection between those two things. And the madness that is flowing from that. So if you get enough people saying that, mankind only has a few decades left before we're all going to die because we're driving SUVs or something like that, it's no wonder that people are starting to act rather oddly and strangely. Exactly. Someone just tweeted this. Just came up on Twitter, on Twitter, whatever Twitter is. I'll start a new one called Twitter instead of Twitter. If you are easily offended, next door is a room where you can get your nose wiped, diaper changed, a pacifier, a blanket, a cup of Kool-Aid, and a cookie. That's exactly right. And unfortunately, that's a sign that would go well in most universities today. I mean, when Jerry Seinfeld says, I'm not doing comedy on university campuses anymore because they'll come after you with a pitchfork for offending them, even if it was a joke. That's the level of immaturity is astounding. Absolutely astounding. It really is. So anyway, the Pope, the Pope's really jumped off the stuff that's in this encyclical is straight. I'm really wondering if Al Gore, if Al Gore went and wrote some of this stuff. I don't know. But along with all of this, leaving that to the side for a moment, and just once again, may I just say to my Roman Catholic apologist friends, I'm sorry, must be rough. I am laughing in a sense of derision, however. You guys are the ones, look, you've been attacking Sola Scriptura all these years and telling us how wonderful it is to have infallible leaders, all the rest of the stuff. And now now you get to pay the price for that, and the price is steep. Yeah, it must be rough. No two ways about it.